Yo, everybody. Welcome in to another season and another episode of the football show with no name. We have the usual suspects here. We got Lauren That Nation on the top and top right, and Big Jeff to complete the stack over here on the top left.
What's going on? I literally just ran off work to come play with y'all.
Yeah, well, that's appreciated, Ferg. That's appreciated. I see you got your jersey on. Who you wearing tonight?
With Tua, going Tua today.
Rocking Tua.
Nice.
Okay. And I got the Randy Moss Hall of Fame edition on.
Nice.
You got nice.
Randy Moss Hall of Fame. Wore it for our League of Record draft for Ferg and I's draft a couple of weeks back. How'd you start off in that league, by the way, Ferg and Hoofnagel?
Shitty as always.
Yeah.
Now tell the audience how many leagues you're playing in this year, Jeff.
Oh my gosh. It hurts my brain.
307.
I don't even understand that.
I'm
307.
I have no idea what to even say right now. I don't know how you have that
people.
Like Lauren asked the other day in our group chat, asked how you have time to make all those lineups or go through the waiver wire, or which was a big day today, the first waiver wire of the year.
I have a extremely accommodating remote job that allows me to service the people's needs while I search for random Jeff Wilson replacements for Devin Achane all over the universe.
We got to
talk about that.
Approximately how many screens does it take to manage 307 fantasy football leagues?
I mean, it really only takes one laptop and a phone.
How many different apps do you have to have, though? I mean, I shouldn't say anything. I have Sleeper, ESPN, NFL, but do you have all of them?
300 sleeper teams.
That's a Yahoo team,
and your one ESPN team.
I hate using ESPN's platform for fantasy football.
It's hard.
ESPN better.
So we have a lot to talk about. It's been a long time since we've been here. It's been through the whole off season. We have some some interesting things, both funny and
Uncle Shay Shay.
And the Tyreek situation, which I know that we want to touch on. He addressed it today, and I think he handled it really well. So, and I'd like to get y'all's thoughts. You really should check out that press conference, Lauren, whenever you get a second. Check that out. Yeah. So, but we've been through a whole combine and draft, and now the season has begun officially last week. Last Thursday, it was the Ravens and Chiefs game.
Yeah,
wasn't it that kicked us off, right? So,
Ravens and Chiefs, good game.
But we can talk about regular football in a few minutes. Let's. I know Ferg wanted to talk about Uncle Shay Shay when we first started.
We needed the commish here to talk about Uncle Shay Shay, but if anyone doesn't know, apparently there's a hacked leaked tape of Shannon Sharpe engaging in some very boisterous Blue Chew activities with a woman named Michelle that is floating around Instagram. Shannon says it's fake. We haven't really ever had any social media BS bullshit with Shannon, so I can't call him either way right now and say if it's fake. If it's me, I heard the tape, I probably take credit for it. But that's just me, though. I don't want to lose my Disney job if I'm Shannon either, though. So,
but let me ask. So, who was it in our group chat? Like, why he sound like that, though?
Yeah, why he sound like that? Though?
Look, Lauren, did you watch it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
It sounded like a lion. Like I
understand like dialing somebody by accident. I do that on my iPhone all the time. But I've never gone live on Instagram and then put the phone down so that it just looks at the floor.
I had a friend's kid take my phone, playing with it, and put Facebook Live on, and it was so lucky I wasn't talking shit about people I worked with.
But there wasn't any. Yeah, I'm assuming there weren't any kids in the room while he was in there clapping yams.
I mean,
at 80 decibels.
Maybe it is fake though. Like I'm just now getting into this whole Chat GPT thing. It's like I talk to it like it's my friend now because it's easier for me to go on Chat GPT than Google because I'm terrible at Googling things. So like it wouldn't surprise me if that was something fake. Just like the Taylor Swift endorsement was fake.
Why you say that was fake? You think that was fake?
No, for Trump.
Oh, for Trump. Yeah, no, the real.
No. She endorsed
the old cat lady. The cat lady one was real.
Yeah.
Bro, we don't like that. That's a whole nother topic there.
We don't generally discuss politics over here. We're not going to start today. I think you can make decisions like that though when you have billions of dollars. You don't really care for certain groups.
Well, see, I don't know.
We're not going to buy your CD over again because we already bought it.
Well, what is it?
I own all of them.
But Ferg, so tell me, what was the original stuff with Shannon Sharpe? Like, what was originally going on? Why this video makes it a little bit worse?
I don't.
Was he married?
Didn't he have allegations on him with some?
No, not Shannon. I don't think Shannon. The only thing, Shannon was a little. I wish the commish was here. He was in a little hot water. I think that I don't think all of America, especially melanated folks, kind of liked his and Stephen A's comments on First Take about the Tyreek thing. I don't think they were all in full agreement. I can't speak for everybody.
What did he say about Tyreek?
Well, I took it. The commission, I had a conversation. I took it as you have two different people. Stephen A. Smith is already polarizing. He also makes $15-20 million a year. It's only so much F the police kind of talk that you're going to be able to do when you make that kind of money and you work for the mouse. We've never really known Shannon to be confrontational like that unless he was going at Skip. I mean, he'll talk about issues, but to me, I felt like Tyreek said what he had to say. The national people said what they had to say. But by the time Stephen A. and these guys got on TV on Monday morning, the NFL and the powers that be have probably kind of sent something out like, hey, this is how we're going to handle this. We're not going to get into no kneeling type divisive situation. We're going to let the Dolphins say what they got to say. Tyreek, somebody probably called Tyreek because Tyreek talked a lot of shit Sunday, but Monday he was, I take my part in it, but the cops should still get fired. And I kind of feel like that sentiment kind of trickled down through the ESPN, NFL corridors. Like, we're not going to make this, we're not going to allow this to be a George Floyd type thing. But Tyreek was 100% correct. Like, what if I'm not Tyreek Hill? Right. What if the other two dudes that stopped aren't 6'8" NFL players a mile away from the stadium?
That city would have rioted too if he didn't show up to that game.
Yeah, they would have burnt that place down. So
I
think it's enough blame to go all around.
Understand,
I mean,
like how that turned into cuffing from a minor traffic violation. Other than, I've said smart ass things to cops on occasion. I've never ended up in cuffs,
you don't look like Tyreek Hill either, though. But that's a whole other question. But I also kind of feel Miami is not Charlotte. Full disclosure, we live in Charlotte. I live 7 miles from a stadium. On a game day, I can't speed 7 miles down.
That's another thing, Miami's
I would be speeding a mile away from the stadium with all of that traffic.
It's like it's on the water. It's like on the beach. So I don't actually know how you can speed. Yeah.
I can imagine what Miami Stadium looks like on game day.
Yeah.
Game one of the year, first game of the year, the amount of people in the streets.
Yeah, so how's he actually going? Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
55 and
I've been to Miami
and a 45.
It is not somewhere, I don't know how that could have happened.
Car was fire though.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he acknowledged he should have rolled the window down like everybody else would have, right? And like he got a little heated, but the cop took it
too far.
Chips down there took it a little too far, right?
I don't know if he rolls down the window though. Like, why would you? If you
you roll the window down, but
why would you why would you even say that? I wouldn't roll the window down if I thought I was going to be assaulted or arrested or shot.
Yeah,
how do
the cops not know that it's Tyreek Hill? I mean, the guy is like.
Yep.
Well, I think he knew it was Tyreek, but once Tyreek was out the car and he gave that first side eye shit talk, That cop had already decided, I'm fucking this dude up. I
The
don't
cop
know
should've said,
if he's
"I'm
Tyreek. I don't know if he
sorry,
knows he's Tyreek Hill or not, but I know
Right.
he's driving a car that costs more than my last 5 years worth of salary.
Look.
I'm fucking this smart ass mouth dude up.
Look,
That's how I
not a
totally
football
took
fan.
about it.
well, we saw what happened to the cop that that fucked with Scotty Scheffler back in the PGA a few months back, and I don't see this working out any differently for the law enforcement officials that did that for sure.
I don't see the Dolphins really pushing this any further than that, just because
No.
for nothing else, they need
No,
the
the
police
Dolphins probably
for
won't.
security,
kinda
things like
hoping-
that. But
I was really hoping that this was going to bring more spotlight to the problem to begin with. Like, it sucks that it has to be a famous person, but like now you got a famous person who is dark skinned and he gets pulled. So is this going to bring more attention to it? Because now you got, Florida's whack. Period. You can't say anything other than that.
I say-
You got your number one wide receiver almost going to jail on opening day.
Right.
before we move to something else, I would say less attention because of the party that it happened to. Because there's going to be somebody out there that says, I don't care if Tyreek Hill got thrown on the ground. What about when he grabbed his kid's arm 7 years ago? Or he did this, or he did that.
Yeah.
There are
Or his
always going
house
to be
almost
both
burned
sides.
down.
His house got burned down. He probably set it on fire. I mean, Tyreek Hill, like you said, he got, I feel like he got done wrong, but he also got he gets to sometimes play the privilege card because you have millions of dollars. And it would have gone completely different if he was Tyreek Jones from West Palm Beach and was just driving near the game. That would have ended up completely different for him.
And like
that's what I'll say with that. I'll say that to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm so glad that the Dolphins are handling it like they are. It seems like they're doing a good job, and Tyreek is handling like he is. So I'm interested to see what happens to the police officers, though. So
yeah,
so we'll see.
Let's talk some shit.
Yeah, so let's talk some real football. Let's talk some real.
Let's talk some shit. Let's start with Lauren's boys. Laying the goddamn the full can of economy size ass whoop on the Carolina Panthers.
Well,
we don't spend a lot of time on the Panthers, but I want to give the Saints some shine because they're Lauren's boys.
Wasn't it you that sent that meme? That sent that meme to the group chat. Like, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This was before the game even started. You're like, eliminated
from playoff contention as of the second quarter.
It was a crappy team. They played a crappy team, but I'm going to give them a lot of props for that because we've got Clint Kubiak now, and they redid the offense is completely new. They've shortened it, changed it. Derek Carr's been working on it all summer with everybody. I actually think they're going to do pretty well this year. We'll see. They played Dallas this weekend. My next door neighbors are talking shit to me about it, but they played Dallas. Marshawn's hurt, but we had an awesome draft. We got Kool-Aid. I love Kool-Aid. He is one of the best drafts. Yeah, I love McKinsey.
So it was a good game.
Yeah, Derek Carr had more fantasy football points than most quarterbacks last week.
Well, you know what's funny is I heard something, and Ferg, I'm sure you heard the same thing because we listen to the same kind of podcast. But I think the average yards for quarterbacks in the first week was like 212 yards.
I can believe it.
Like for the average quarterback, and Derek Carr's sitting here at 200 yards even. But he's got 3 touchdowns.
I can believe it.
So, I mean, he has a good game. Rashid Shaheed,
Lawrence. If he's on your waiver wire, get him now. I draft him.
New favorite.
I loved Rashid last year.
I'm not messing with Rashid this week only because
you don't have to mess with him this week. But
Dallas defense does take the rock away.
He's no joke. He's gonna be taking a lot from a lot. Rashid Shaheed is awesome.
But Diggs is going to be on Olave.
Really good relationships.
Diggs on Olave.
Ferg. So Diggs is going to be on Olave, and I don't know, man.
Dallas defensive line is going to get way more pressure than.
We've also got the 18 carries fast as shit.
Kitty Cats lost their best defensive player for the year. So
but
Panthers were done once Derek Brown went sideline. They were done.
All I know is I turned that game on in the first quarter, and it was 37-0.
And Blake Kirby, what way to learn how to kick over the summer, buddy?
Speaking of like random side thing, kickers had big weeks in fantasy.
Yeah.
Last weekend. So
Chris Boswell for MVP.
Right. I mean, it was Kaimi and Kaimi Fairbairn, right?
Yes.
So there was some really good performances. Yeah. But let's talk about some real football after that. Let's talk about the first game. We got the first two games, right? So we got the first one is the Ravens and Chiefs, and that was in Berlin, right, or somewhere.
No,
that was Kansas City.
Oh, was it in Kansas City?
Friday night was in Brazil.
Eagles, that was in Brazil.
Packers, that was in Brazil.
That's what it was. Okay, so Ravens,
in the murder
Chiefs.
capital.
So
with the fucking dirty
the Isaiah Likely show.
The Isaiah Likely show, and
another waiver wire pickup.
He should have worn.
He shouldn't have been on your waiver wire in the first place.
Well,
let's just start with that. He shouldn't have been on the waiver wire in the first place.
In one tight end leagues, sometimes, and people don't know what they're doing when they draft sometimes, Ferg. So that's just
I didn't realize they were going to use him as like a second option as much as they now. I'm
like,
this dude's going to take over.
If nobody else, if anybody else in your league, if nobody else, whoever drafted Mark Andrews in your league,
have Isaiah
should have been drafting Isaiah Likely. If you've been watching football for the last 2 years,
yeah, I mean,
Mark Andrews could get hurt stepping out the car.
He really does.
You should have had Likely.
He did pretty much. I mean, he was 2 for 14, two catches, 14 yards, while Isaiah Likely was 9 for 11 and a touch.
Well, what is Zay Flowers? I don't understand that.
I love Zay.
I do too, but like that pass that he missed, that was it touchdown he missed, and then the run in your mouth, man. You got in enough trouble for that.
Did he miss, or does Lamar miss him?
Lamar doesn't miss anything. Let's be
the fourth quarter says otherwise.
Well, you know where Lamar does show his value, and the reason he wins MVP and the reason he
running the ball
football trophies is because he had 15 carries for $122. And
he missed the second to last play after the game, though. He missed that.
Yeah, he did. He definitely missed it. And Isaiah Likely was a toenail away from.
If Isaiah Likely wore a 13 instead of a 15,
or had white shoes, right?
We'd be having our annual or the Chiefs did
5 years ago. Already. That was a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a touchdown. Easy
review shit. Yeah.
Right. So then we have the next game, which is another one of those prime time games. It was Eagles Packers.
Love.
Oh man,
I'm not watching it.
Was it last play of the game or the second to last play of the game? Wasn't it?
I think I don't say this lightly. If you're speaking fantasy and real football, the Jordan Love injury was the single most important injury of week 1.
Yeah, it's a big
loss. The loss of Jordan Love killed all your Packer receivers. Mm-hmm. I'm not too hot on Jacobs. I cut any Green Bay tight end that I had.
Yeah.
And now I'm scrambling. If you didn't have a backup with Jordan Love, now.
So you don't.
Maybe you got Justin Fields on the waiver, or
so you don't believe
Daniel
in Malik Willis.
Derek Carr's all over the waiver wire. So is
Did we see Malik Willis start into the season?
No, look, I don't believe in
Malik Willis. We see that game.
Either. I don't believe in Malik Willis either. All I'm saying is like you never know. Like they're gonna find a way to get Jayden Reed the ball. They're going to find a way to get him the ball.
Well, Jayden Reed's the only Green Bay wide receiver I left in any of my lineup.
Right. That's only because
I think he'll get jet sweeps and tunnel screens.
Right.
But that's only going to work, but for so long.
And Josh will get 25 carries, right?
Josh
they'll probably put in some RPO because of Malik Willis, right? And so,
the fact that there was even an argument about him being a first-round pick 2 years ago is insane. This is why I don't pay attention to the draft. It doesn't matter. Give me a kid that's 4 years in a system, been to 3-4 bowl games, played on the road at Bama, played on the road at Michigan, played on the road at Texas. Give me that kid like Purdy running through Iowa State.
But now you got
you Malik Willis with his 12 starts at Liberty because he threw an 80-yard pass in the combine.
Those first-round picks, because that was something that the first pick of the draft, the last 2 years now has been a complete bust. Caleb looked like shit.
I'm not gonna say that.
I drafted him, put him every
one game.
Hold on,
we should have named this
Bryce Young.
Overreaction week. This is overreaction week.
I'm not a huge fan
of it. It was one game.
I love Caleb. I think he's funny as shit.
You saw Caleb in preseason. Right? You saw Caleb in preseason looking like Baby Goat.
Give him a few minutes.
Looking just like Baby Goat.
Look,
I mean, maybe it was nerves.
Dude's got a great squad built around him.
Keenan's hurt, and the offensive line didn't block worth a shit for the run.
Yeah.
So then they knew they was dropping back and passing every time. It's a work in progress.
Was not good.
Bryce
Young had another shit. His second, his first pass was an interception.
He is the worst. Him and Daniel Jones had -6 fantasy points.
Yeah, that. And then
if you look at the last 8 Chicago quarterbacks, though, that game's a loss. With any other quarterback they've started in the last 10 years, that game's a loss.
Since we're jumping around,
that's all you got to do is win.
Pull up Jeremy's question because we want to know, Jeremy, who is the other option?
Who is
that would be what we need to know is who is the other option besides Jayden Reed?
There is
but
none.
I think
not on that team.
They're going to no. He said who is he? Like he's flex Jayden Reed or bench. It's a fantasy question.
It depends on your options.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Let's wait to see who the options are.
So if you're the Panthers, how pissed off are you? Because my play of the week, my absolute favorite pass comes from Anthony Richardson.
Sure.
Getting ready to get tackled, launches that. So Anthony, then you got CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
That's the only reason they can be mad. They can only be mad about Stroud.
CJ. Yeah.
That's the only thing they can be mad about is Stroud.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Colts just need to get him some more oh God,
Again,
that guy can play.
It's week 1.
Sutton, I'd go Jayden Reed there, man.
Sutton, who's Denver playing?
Until Bo Nix can prove he can throw the ball downfield, I would definitely go Jayden Reed because they're going to find a way to get the ball.
I might disagree. I might go Sutton. Was it Denver, Pittsburgh?
Yeah, no way.
But Green Bay.
Sutton had 9 targets last week.
Nope.
Nix is terrible, but I expect Pittsburgh to actually walk the dog on Denver. So it wouldn't shock me that by the fourth quarter, if Sutton hasn't gotten 12 to 14 targets. Now, if he don't catch them, all you can ask for is the targets. Once Reed gets that first end around, that first jet sweep, I don't know if Reed gets the ball again because Malik Willis is terrible.
Yeah.
Like if you had Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Jamar Chase as your starting 3 wide receivers, but I was playing quarterback, would you start any 3 of those? Me and Malik Willis are on the same level. Me and Malik Willis are on the same level of quarterbacking.
Berg.
We are.
All right. So look, I did, going down the list, kind of hitting some highlights. I don't know. So Jeremy, I say Jayden Reed.
Jeremy, I say Sutton. Flip a coin.
All right. So now some little highlights real quick.
Jayden Reed's got the home game.
Yeah,
and he's playing against Indianapolis.
Malik.
Yeah,
Willis.
You got more You got more probability of lots of touchdowns in that game with Anthony Richardson on the other side.
So the Texans look good. CJ Stroud looked good, and they won. They beat the Colts. The Bills had a harder time than they should have with the Cardinals, but the Cardinals actually looked pretty good defensively. They did not.
Josh Allen.
But they did still look pretty good. And so then you go to we gotta talk about the shocker of the week.
England.
The Patriots. The lowly Patriots. Sorry,
that was really cool though. I love Gerard Mayo. Good for him though. They dumped Gatorade on him. Like good for him because I love me some Gerard Mayo and like good for him because somebody needed to come out there and prove that Bill Belichick isn't the reason they were the best team in football.
Wait a minute, but isn't he? Because didn't the Pats defense with Bill's son win that game? It wasn't Drake and Jacoby. It's the fact that the Pats, even last year, because I thought about the fact that we called the Pats ass like all summer.
Yeah,
their defense was still top 10 last year.
The defense is fine, but
the defense is legit. That's 20 years of Bill's imprint. The defense gonna take 10 years for their bad.
Yeah, their defense is fine.
Their offense won a game with their Jacoby, but Jacoby's okay. But like, who do they even throw to? They got.
I mean, they spread it around. Hunter Henry made a return. We saw Tyquan Thornton. We saw Demario. We saw and then we saw Ramondre just run wild, which is the same thing he was doing last year before he got hurt.
I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool that they got.
If Ramondre doesn't get hurt last year, Belichick is probably still coaching.
That was my sneaky best pick in Hoofnagel was Ramondre. I got him in like the 11th round or some shit like that.
I'm going to tell you about Ramondre. When I started drafting these 3,000 teams, like back in April and May, Ramondre was always my RB2. And then I started listening to podcasts and NFL and telling me how terrible the NFL with the Pats were going to be. So I started drafting the Zach Mosses and the Najee Harrises and those guys
But
waiting a
you're not
long
upset
time to
with
get
Zach
RB
Moss.
when I should have just kept drafting Ramondre every time because he was available in the 8th, 9th round
Agreed.
every draft. Every
Agreed.
draft.
I mean, and he played really well. The Pats played really well, and they went into Cincinnati and upset a team that
Slim
has Super Bowl
Shiesty.
aspirations. That
Joe
is
Shiesty.
the only kryptonite that Patrick Mahomes has seen in this league to date in the playoffs. So, it's just one of those things where if they
I
don't get
don't
their
like it for the Bengals this year. I don't like it for the
also
Bengals.
just talk about how Atlanta did not come out and impress any. Like you got Justin Fields.
Well, hold on, real quick to finish up the Cincinnati. There's barely you didn't have Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
You did.
Until the game. Like he hadn't really practiced all year. I mean, all preseason. Then you had him for the game, right? So he a little slow, still went out there 5 for 66 or whatever. But then you didn't have T. Higgins. You don't have Joe Mixon because you're having committee with Zach Moss and Chase Brown. But
Chase Brown is not good.
With T. Higgins back, I think probably this week with Jamar, I think they probably rebound this week, but we'll have to pump our brakes on that, right?
Random side note before we leave Cincinnati. Did anybody see Ocho? Ocho placed like a $10,000 bet on Gesicki to get a touchdown and then celebrate online, and then they called the Gesicki touchdown back. They called that back in the first quarter. They called that touchdown back. Oh, that's right.
They did because I was pissed at first that I didn't put him anywhere, but yeah.
I forgot the exact amount, but I think it was pretty up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So, Lord,
lends credence to the NFL being fixed.
I hope.
How did he know that? How did he know that?
Lauren, I was gonna go to that too. That next because it's the Arthur Smith Bowl.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, the Falcons disappointing. Kirk Cousins looked like he couldn't stand on his
his
left leg. Bijan looked good. I mean, he's going to be great. But you got to be worried about Drake London if you drafted him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Ooh.
I know, but see, Brett, this isn't even the same. It's not the same sport. But you're not wrong.
Why you taking shots at the Cubs?
I don't know, but it's okay. What were you saying, Lauren?
No, Drake and Kyle Pitts. Like I think everybody went into it this season thinking like, okay, Kirk's here. This is gonna be better. You're gonna have a quarter. Because like we talked about the other day when I was like, who's gonna win the AFC South? And I mean, I don't even know what to say about. I guess we'll see what he does this weekend, but maybe he needs to be in Minnesota with Justin Jefferson.
Well, right now it looks like Tampa Bay is going to win the NFC South because Baker Mayfield put on a show. QB1, right?
He did.
For the week.
QB1, I think.
Yeah.
I believe.
So, I mean, went out there and threw for 270 and 4 touchdowns or something like that, right?
Mike Evans will never die.
No. Do you think the Browns are kicking themselves for letting him go at this point?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Baker was 289. He was 289.
I can't say that they're kicking themselves because we saw Baker. Literally. Yeah. The dude that we saw throwing passes to Odell and the dude that we saw that one night in Carolina is nothing like the dude that we just saw.
I don't know what happened to him.
Even that one, like I think there's something, I don't know, and I could be wrong.
There's something in the water
to be like let's just play.
Yeah.
Giving Baker too much information seems to be
I love
bad.
Baker. And his big ass
training camp all year, and he was ass at Carolina. He shows up with the Rams that one night, like the night before the game, and balls out on Monday night. Just play backyard ball when you're playing with Baker.
I love Baker, and as I said, all of his undergarments that he wears under his jersey.
That guy just runs like his.
He's got to have a triple X jersey on to fit all that.
What are the Browns supposed to do with Deshaun?
But hold on, just real quick about that before that Tampa Bay game. Then we'll get to that because that was where we were headed next. Lauren, I know you wanted to touch on the rookies. Jaden Daniels had a pretty good game.
I thought it was good. It was cool watching him. He was probably the only one I thought that had like a really good game out of the rookie class that came out. Well, so, like Marvin Harrison Jr., I drafted everywhere for his one catch.
He'll be fine.
He's terrible.
I mean, he'll be fine. Don't worry about that guy. But look, 17 for 24. 184 in the air, not great, not bad. It's his first outing in the NFL, and regular season start. But 16 for 88 and 2 on the ground, right? So
I'm telling you, I'm
and they
putting
were
Jaden
2 goal
Daniels in
lines.
all of DFS this weekend.
Yeah.
He's cheap and he's playing the Giants at home.
Yeah.
It's a good match for him.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
I'm a
good
little
match
worried
for the
about
Giants,
Jaden
so-
Daniels only because Quinn came out
He's getting
and
his helmet taken
specifically
off.
called the OC out and said this man cannot run the ball 16 times a game. Like he's
running
not
and
going to
his
make
helmet
it
kept coming
running the
off.
ball 16 times a game. So I fully expect that number to be like in half. So if he doesn't start hitting Scary Terry, Jaden could be a little bit of a bust this weekend. I know they got the Giants, so maybe that
Yeah,
always helps.
right.
But if
Yeah.
if he's specifically telling the OC, do not call a running play for this man,
Yeah.
that's coming from above.
Right. All right. So
That's coming from above.
let's group these two things together then, Ferg, since you've like sprinkled in some little nuggets. So let's sprinkle in Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson. So let's talk a little bit about Deshaun Watson first. So what do the Browns do here? So you have a true leader of the locker room and leader in the huddle in Jameis sitting on the bench, and you know he's going to come out and give you 55 touchdowns and 50 picks, right? Like you know that would be the season that he had, right? And
but
you paid
run
Deshaun
ball
Watson
in on victory formation, yeah.
But you literally went to the bank, got a bag full of money, and handed it to Deshaun Watson. And
I think you've already handed it to him. Like,
oh no, it is. It's done. Like it's
done. I feel like at this point, you tell your GM, we have to figure out how to make the best possible team. We can't take the dead salary cap hit. So we're just gonna be the laughing stock for another 3 years with a $50 million backup quarterback. We need to figure out what we're gonna do with Jameis, and we need to figure out how it is we can get somebody in here that is capable of running this offense. Because you didn't have to let Flacco go. You could have kept Flacco.
Assault. Yeah. No, I mean he's.
You could have kept Flacco.
I got no words for that man. Like in the most recent one that he's accused of was like literally the same, like within weeks of signing that contract.
Yeah. But see, the one he just got accused of is from 2020.
Right, but that's when he signed that contract for the Texans.
I mean, that's like, that's like me getting a beating from my mama for not cleaning up my room, and then her coming back and beating me like 3 weeks later because she found one shoe downstairs. Like, you could have just lumped all 12 cases, 13 cases, 15 cases. Once we're over one, they're all the same. It's all the same. So no need to bring nothing back from like 4 or 5 years later. That whoever that is a straight money play that didn't want to get lumped in with everybody else who didn't play. So if that's the reason why he's playing bad again, because he's got that on his mind, I mean, I'm not an apologist. I understand. I believe everybody deserves a second chance. So I don't think you should keep getting beat up and abused for the same mistake.
They should have kept Flacco.
That's what Ferg was saying, yeah. I mean,
it just comes down to you should have kept Flacco because you had no idea. Goodell could have threw this man out the league permanently.
But so, like, how long before Deshaun Watson's shoulder hurts and he puts himself on the sideline, right? Because he's terrible.
$230 million. He's got to play. He's got to play 7 games.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has to play. Like, that's
he has to play 7 games at least for $230 million. You got to play 7 games where you can say we've decided to make a change.
I mean, okay,
you can't give that speech this week.
And they went out there and laid a complete egg against the Cowboys.
Cowboys didn't even look that good.
No.
They just made them look good. They made them look good.
Yeah, they did make them look good. And then so they took an ass whooping. And let's talk about Daniel Jones.
Listen, do we have
to? Because I'm not a Daniel Jones fan. He's a dookie. Have never been a fan of his.
He's like ruined my neighbors.
When he signed that contract, I couldn't believe
Wandale got 12 targets.
I just right. 12 Daniel Jones targets are like 12 Malik Willis
Daniel
targets.
Jones.
Right.
The Daniel Jones contract is the reason why every other quarterback after him, I have no complaints with them arguing about asking for more money. Because if this cat is getting $40 million and you're only going to pay me $50,
who was that?
Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
And played that one game for Aaron Rodgers. Was it Matt Flynn?
Matt Flynn got that money before Russell Wilson took his job.
Got paid.
He got paid from Green Bay. Not Green Bay, but Seattle.
No, Seattle. Yeah,
he got paid from Seattle and didn't win the training camp job.
Right.
So shit happens.
I don't understand. I don't understand the Giants. I don't understand them at all.
Me either. Because how long are they going to give this dude? Right? Because
and you let Saquon go.
He goes out there. He has. I think there was a stat that I saw is he has since in his last however many starts, because he was hurt a lot last year, right?
Yeah.
He has more pick sixes than touchdowns.
I think that the Giants as an organization sometimes look at fantasy type numbers than real numbers, because there was a point where, for fantasy purposes, Daniel Jones was a top 10 quarterback for a stretch last year.
Too?
Last year, he did the same thing. He stunk week 1, and then the week 2, he was QB 1 or 2. The next week, we went through this same thing last year, and he does just enough for whoever the powers that be to say, you know what, I think I can fix him. They went out and got Dable, who's supposed to be the QB whisperer. He can't fix this dude. This dude is terrible.
Yeah,
he's terrible.
He's a repeat.
I'm giving 3 weeks before week 3 before we see Drew Lock.
Well, oh gosh, don't say those words. So he went out there and lost to the Vikings, and not the Vikings that you're used to seeing over the last couple of years.
Sam Darnold now.
He gave the Vikings
defense.
Darnold-led
Vikings.
And the Vikings defense went one leagues for people last weekend.
It was not good. So Ferg, then your boys went out there. Y'all were down early. Y'all came back.
Early jitters.
The dub.
When your guy gets arrested.
I was going to say, to be fair, he was
your guy gets arrested 90 minutes before the game, tends to reverberate through the locker room. Because at the time when this happened at the beginning of the game, I didn't even know about Calais and Jonnu Smith.
Me either.
I thought it was just a Tyreek thing. So I can see that kind of thing reverberating through offense and defense.
Did you see him?
And my boy Colombian Mike having to come back in the locker room at halftime and be like, hey, get this shit together.
I love
Get this shit together, Colombian
Look, if
Mike.
y'all ever fire him for any reason,
I'm going to protest. I would think I'll get a new team if they ever fire Mike.
Dude, I would be so upset. But I didn't know the Calais Campbell, Jonnu Smith stuff either. But did you see Calais after the game walk up and while Tyreek was being interviewed? He walked up. He's like, "Free Reek,
free Reek."
I love that. So all right. So then you got the last 2 games of the week that I really want to talk about is the 2 big ones, right? So you got Lions Rams. So you got the Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford swap bowl.
Again.
Again. That's happened a few times.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the Lions and Rams play all the time now?
All the time.
I traded. I never heard of a Lions and Rams game.
Now it's not a fluke.
This seems to be a yearly thing now.
Yeah, but usually it's a good game.
Yeah.
Right? Usually it's a good game.
They have been good games.
The Lions went to the NFC Championship last year, and because of a yeah, we can get to that in a second.
Yeah,
because of the, I don't know if it was a wrong call by Dan Campbell to not kick the field goal.
Wrong. It's not wrong.
He had been doing that all year. Now, does the situation amplify the fact that he didn't kick a field goal? Of course it does.
It does, but
NFC Championship game. But he hadn't done it all year.
Against what you've been doing. If you've been going for 4th down, if you've been kicking 60-yard field goals, if you've been going for it, play action, 4th and 10, you do what got you there. Don't get to the championship game and turn into a different team.
In those short
NFC
yardage
title game was at Ford Field. We would have a different Super Bowl last year.
Right. No, you're right. You're not wrong. But in that position, in 4th down and 2, I think is what it was. You have the second best tight end in football last year in Sam Laporta. You got a top 5 wide receiver with Amon-Ra, that always runs those short that you can play in the slot if you want to. You got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery available to you. You go for that. You've been doing
I feel like they called the play. Goff registered it, ran what he ran. It didn't work. Because to me, it's because it was Dan Campbell. They're new. They were hot. He caught a lot of heat. But to me, it looked exactly like the play Belichick and them ran against the Colts in the playoff that year when they just needed to get the first down in the fourth quarter. And they threw the ball and ended up giving the ball back to Indy. You lose. Indy goes to Super Bowl. History. Peyton's history. Peyton's on every commercial for the rest of the time now. because you made a bad play call on
Yep.
4th down. And I'm not going to take anything away from Belichick. Belichick is either the 1 or 2 GOAT coach of all time, depending on how you love him. Whether you love him or hate him, he's 1 or 2. Whether you love him or hate him, he's 1 or 2, regardless. So
yeah, I mean, the Lions look good.
Shit happens. Shit just happens in the game.
The Lions look good. They should win the division there, especially with Jordan Love being hurt for the first 4 weeks, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a few minutes. So the last game of the week was the Monday night game. It was the one everybody was looking forward to. It was the return of Aaron Rodgers after being hurt on the 4th offensive snap last year on Monday Night Football, and ironically, the same player that hurt him on that 4th snap is now on the 49ers. Defensive line, and so it was a whole storyline. Then to find out right before game time that Christian McCaffrey wasn't playing.
Did we? Per Jordan Mason, did we find out right before halftime?
I was doing something else, so I missed the 10-minute count.
I feel like the fantasy community as a whole, DraftKings, whoever.
I drafted him one time.
Letter to the 49ers.
He's always
all
hurt.
Better, and I told the commissioner this on Sunday when we were talking. There's no way somebody from Vegas didn't make a call to Goodell.
No way.
Listen here. If this guy's going to get on TV and say that somebody told him he was starting on Friday and we didn't get a chance to move the lines on this game to like 7 o'clock on Monday, somebody's getting their kneecaps broken in the back alley right now. We won't ever hear about it, but somebody's getting their damn kneecaps
He's out this
broken.
week too.
Well, they say probably.
You know what's crazy? He's not even on the injured list anywhere like on Sleeper. He's questionable.
Right.
He's
questionable. So you can't even put him on the IR.
He's 0 points on ESPN app. He's questionable at 0 points.
Bullshit. Now we're going to talk about more about injuries because we got quite a few to talk about real quick. But
Jordan Mason, a beast.
Jordan Mason came in. He like 28 carries, y'all. Like CMC don't get 28 carries.
He played that game like it was the only one he's
going
to play.
You shouldn't give CMC 28 carries because he made a glass. But
he for 147 and a touch. Dude went out there and did his thing. And Debo changing his number kind of fucked with me a little bit.
I didn't even know that was coming. I didn't know that
I was like,
happening.
who the fuck is this number one out here catching the football? He looked smaller for some reason.
Anything to make you buy new jersey.
I was like, did Jarrett McKinnon sign with the Niners? Like, what's happening here? You know what I mean? But then I noticed he couldn't be tackled. I was like, oh, that's got to be Debo.
Right. One of the things about the 49ers that, in real football terms, that shocks me is that why the system says Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, whoever you put back there, if you give them 20 carries, they're getting 100 yards and a touchdown because the system is just that good.
That's why CMC is
especially with Trent Williams. So I just don't see the reason as to why to give CMC a $20 million extension.
Because
you think
of Jordan Mason, bro, or Elijah Mitchell.
Anybody back there.
Here's the thing, though. You take those guys. You take those Jeff Wilsons and Raheem Mosterts and Elijah Mitchells, and you put them behind there, and they're great, and they're your 80 to 100 yard backs. You put CMC back there, he's 120 to 140 yard back.
But one
and
of the
so he's that much different.
We argued about this last year. The 49ers as a whole are generally much better when they have 3 guys to get the ball as instead of 4 guys that need to get the ball.
Well, George
every game last year, on a fantasy perspective, we were all happier when one of them were out. When one of them was gone, we were always happier.
I don't know when Debo's contract's up, but like they are playing with fire. If they don't get to the Super Bowl and win it this year, next, like that's it.
Yeah, no, it's done.
They have to win this year because you got to sign Purdy to a new deal next year.
Is he still making under $1 million? That was great.
Yeah,
he makes like
$795,000, something like that.
But Ferg, so but Debo is like Debo's like the strongest dude out there, right?
He is.
And I can see him being like a Raven if he just says fuck the Niners. But anyway, the Jets didn't look all that great. Their defense didn't look all that great. Aaron Rodgers looked hesitant.
The Jets look really great for like 11 minutes. And then I don't know what the fuck happened because I texted you. I was like, Garrett Wilson is going to lead the league in fucking targets. If this is what we was waiting for all
all
year,
year. Yeah.
and then he gets like 3 more passes the rest of the goddamn
Now,
game.
but let's not understate this. The most important thing for the Jets is that Aaron Rodgers came out of that game healthy, and he's going on to week 2 and as the sort of quarterback. So we'll see where it progresses from there. And that kind of, with that matchup being the 49ers and the Jets, we can answer Brittany's question and kind of talk about that for a second as far as who do we think the best defense is. I mean, now people would say it might be the 49ers. People did say before the season that it was going to be the Jets, right? And so then the Jets go out and let Jordan Mason run like ruck shot over them.
Wild.
And it did not look good for the Jets. So we'll see. You know, I mean, but the Saints obviously look good, but because they played the Panthers. However, the Saints are going to have a good defense. Like they're going to have a good defense, right? But Britt, your boys are going to be up there too.
Because now we've got Chase Young. And they're
I'm
biased, but the Saints defense is ridiculous.
The Saints defense is going to be good, but the Pats defense is going to be great. You got Gerard Mayo, who is a great defense player.
The Saints will end up in it as a good defense because they get a shot at the Panthers twice a year. They've already put that much on their resume.
Well, let's see what they do this weekend when they play Dallas.
Dallas is going to be good. Dallas is going to have that one game where they let somebody score 30 points. For the rest of the time, they're going to get 3 to 4 sacks a game, 2 picks, a fumble recovery, because Micah Parsons and Diggs are just that good. Speaking of that, how the hell? Wait a minute. Let me deviate for a second. Where the hell is Dallas getting money to sign all of these people from?
Oil.
You signed CD.
Oil.
You just made Dak the high. Supposed to get the money to pay Micah Parsons.
They must have some crazy ass contract.
No, dude, they're the richest franchise in sports.
Does
but
Jerry
they have
run
a
the
salary cap?
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that. So it's like the Yankees don't give a fuck about the salary.
But it's in a salary cap though. Like
Dodgers don't care about the no. You play a luxury. You pay the luxury tax.
They don't
so you go over the salary cap. You pay a luxury tax.
Okay.
I mean, that's what happens, right?
I didn't realize
your internet was fucked up for a second. But yeah, I mean, you pay a salary cap. You have the salary cap, and then you pay a luxury tax. I think that's how the NFL works as well. I know that's how baseball works.
I mean, they got like signing bonuses and this, that, and the other that they can take out of the cap, but
they hide a lot of money. They hide a lot in guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a hard salary cap in the NFL.
For your internet's going out, man. But how much did CD get? What was CD's contract?
I don't remember off the top. It was like didn't they sign him like, let me look. I don't know.
It was like 4 years, $120 million or $130 million.
Is he the highest paid wide receiver now?
Yes. But when he got his money, I think 70-something million of that was guaranteed. And so that doesn't go against that doesn't go against the salary cap. Like the guaranteed money doesn't go against the salary cap. Right? So I don't know. But Dallas is going to have a really good defense. They were a top defense last year, but I don't know. I don't really
Browns
see that.
Have a good defense,
Yeah, but they have the Cowboys have a tougher schedule than they did last year, so I don't know how their defense is going to be able to hold up. They not have a luxury tax. All right, good to know. So then they're going to have to hide it in guaranteed money that's going to be the answer. Because I mean, CDs was 136 million, but like 70-some million were guaranteed. So that doesn't go against the cap though, right? So the rest of it, he gets 4 years at $60 million or whatever, so 50 million a year, or 12 million a year, whatever it is. So it's not going to be as much.
Micah's going to end up getting wide receiver money though.
Yeah.
So you're going to have like 3 dudes making. Well, let's say.
What about Dexter Lawrence? Did they pay him
50?
Did they pay Dexter Lawrence too?
He might not be up yet. Let's look at this.
So I mean, that would be another toughie.
I haven't heard him whining yet for money.
But Britt, to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to be the Ravens, or the Pats. would be a good guess. The Texans would be a sneaky good pick too because of D'Amico Ryans.
I'm being biased, and I do think the Saints with Chase
The
Young.
Saints are going to be great. Like the Saints are going to be a top
Saints
5
are going to be
defense.
good because the division isn't that great. So
right,
I'm telling you,
good.
just wait. We play Dallas this weekend. We play Philly the next weekend. We play Kansas City the weekend after that. So we're about to see what they do.
Lions defense is going to be good. Baltimore's going to be good. Cleveland's going to be good. The usual suspects. Chargers are going to be good.
So we got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about some injuries real quick because we had some pretty significant ones. Lauren, can you pull up the injury list for week 1? But let's talk about the big ones. So first, we already touched on it with CMC. It's Achilles and ankle. Isn't that what it was?
Calf Achilles is what they're calling it.
So he, it was like a game time kind of decision, and he might not play again this week. But I think it's been said by many that if Jordan Mason wouldn't have had a good as week as he did, they may be like, yeah, CMC is going to play this week, right? But Jordan Mason had a great game, so
look, there's nothing that the 49ers organization can tell me that I'm going to believe. Once that man said he knew he was starting on Friday, I know that everything that comes out of that organization is full of shit.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then they got CMC running around on Monday afternoon on TV talking about he's playing tonight.
Right.
An hour later, you're out.
Yeah, I didn't have time.
Somebody had some money on that game.
Then you got Jordan Love. That was the big one of the week. I think, we talked about that earlier. He
bunch of tight ends.
He's having surgery on his MCL, right?
Ferguson.
Jordan Love. Is it
MCL, PCL, something like that?
Right. So he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks after having such a great game. And Green Bay they might be the favorites if that wasn't the case. So
now all of a sudden, as of today, Matt LaFleur is saying Love doesn't need practice in order to play. I'd say it's open whether he suits up Sunday against the Colts.
Did he tear it or sprain it? Because that's like a big. Get
the fuck out of here.
These dudes are fucking with us after you just told us Malik Willis was going to be the starter.
Bro, get the fuck out of here.
If Jordan Love is the starter, these injury rules are out of control in the league. They just say whatever the fuck they want to say. It doesn't matter. These dudes are making so much money. You don't have to lie and be like, oh, we're bringing out our super secret quarterback Sunday. Like, they have film analytics for like years on these dudes.
So Lauren, give us run us down some more.
So you got David Njoku and Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, so Ferguson they say may play this week, and Njoku's a high ankle sprain. He's probably not.
Those high ankle sprains suck.
He's not on IR.
Not playing this week.
But he's not on IR though. So
no, but he's not on IR. It won't let
Josh
you put
Palmer
him
and Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Puka really hurt. Let's talk about that for a second because that's
Cooper
a pretty
Cup
big
season.
One.
It's Cooper Cup season.
Yeah,
until he pulls his groin or quad or hammy too, man. I mean,
I don't know if Cooper's gonna get hurt. I think Cooper spent a year getting hurt, and then I think Cooper spent
I hope so.
I think he came back because he saw Puka was out here looking like Jamar Chase when he should have just stayed gone for like another 2 weeks. And I think he would have been back. I think he re-aggravated when he came back last year. Man had 21 targets Sunday. Jesus.
I know, man. 14.
He had 21 targets Sunday.
So, like,
shout out to Kobe Parkinson as my 17th round draft pick, balling out at tight end everywhere.
So is Brock Bowers, and we can talk fantasy more next week. But Lauren, is there any other? Because Puka hurt. Any other that we should mention here?
We got to talk about the Dolphins. Both Dolphins running backs are out. Might be out.
Oh yeah,
and that's a Thursday game. So.
Oh yeah. Marshawn Lattimore's hurt, and the only reason that made me nervous is because somebody's got to cover CD this weekend, and we got a rookie, and I forget the other guy's name.
Then nobody will be covering CD this weekend.
Marshawn if he doesn't play, that's not good.
You might as well just not put a guy over there on CD and bracket everybody else.
So A-Chain practiced today.
Okay, good. That's good news.
Limited that Mostert has already been ruled out.
Yeah, he's been ruled out.
So you got, like I said, you got to play the waiver game and see if you can get Jeff Wilson. If you're stuck playing a Dolphin running back, you better go after Wilson.
Yeah.
You know who else I would pick up if you need somebody just after watching him? Like Aaron Rodgers is real particular about his boys, and Alan Lazard had a good game. Like I would
Yeah,
put
he
him,
really did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, Alan Lazard's been
Lazard
with
is at
him
the top
for
of waivers.
17 years.
He's at the top of waivers.
Yeah,
at this
but
point,
it's
you
like
know
he
what I
sticks
mean?
to the same. Yeah, that's like his
Yeah.
boy. So and Juwan Johnson, if you're desperate for a tight end, the Saints tight end, he this week, the next 3 weeks are gonna be tricky, but like he's another one he got a touchdown last weekend. I mean,
one of the things that I do is I don't think that the Harbaughs are privy to just saying bullshit just to be saying it. And when Harbaugh comes out and says, we didn't bring Derrick Henry here to get 20, 30 carries a game, that tells me Justice Hill is going to get that same work every week like he just got in this
they
last
got to think
game.
about playoffs too. Like you can't
in a PPR league, Justice Hill should be a prime pickup.
You know what? I bet he's a good play for DFS this weekend because they play the Raiders at home and they don't want to wear Derrick Henry out. So yeah, they might put Justice Hill in. Ooh, that's a good. Actually,
another good play that at least for week 1 is that the Jaguars don't seem determined to make sure that Travis Etienne gets 30 carries a game. They came out, they ripped giving Tank 12, 13 carries. I think he got 2 or 3 passes.
I don't believe in that. I mean, I think it's going to be Etienne, though. No, I think it's going to be Etienne workhorse.
Tank had 10 carries before Etienne fumbled that ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that he was uninvolved and a coach got mad and like, hey, come over here.
Yeah,
I think Bigsby's going to be involved because I think.
Oh no, he's going to be involved.
He's
but I don't
always
think
a play away from goddamn being gone 8 weeks.
How good is the Browns run defense?
I mean, Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
I was just thinking
do we really need to say
how good is Myles Garrett? That's what you need to ask. How good is Myles Garrett?
All right. So let's talk about the Thursday night game real quick. So Jeff, we got your boys in Miami against Buffalo. And I heard something today that Tua has never had more than 16 fantasy points against the Bills.
Whoa!
I'm sure there's a lot of stats Tua hasn't.
The Bills games when he got really wrecked too, wasn't it 2 years ago? So
in Miami, yep.
Please.
So it's an interesting game. You have a 48.5 point over under on a Thursday night football, which
I think it's a blowout.
Unheard of.
I think it's a Miami blowout.
I was gonna say, I would take
Miami. Thursday games don't tend to be great.
No,
short turnaround early in the season. The only thing that I can see going wrong is if Miami just can't run the ball and A-Chain doesn't play, then you keep joshing them in the game because Tua's got to drop back and throw the ball. But the fact that they don't have Poyer and all these other guys and they play for us now, like their secondary doesn't scare. Who the hell on Buffalo is going to stop Tyreek?
No, their defense. I mean, who the hell on any roster is going to start Tyreek?
I mean, they have good pass rush with Miller and Russo, and they have good pass rush. It's just the fact that it's Thursday and it's so early. These dudes are coming off of wearing pads for like 2 days a week for like 2 months. They haven't hit. They're sore as hell from Sunday. That was a long, drawn out game against Arizona. Then we got to get on a plane. We got to go to Miami. Somebody's going to go to the club tonight. They're not going to be ready for tomorrow. I'm saying in the end, it's probably close first half. I say in the end, it ends up being Miami 24, Buffalo 10.
And Buffalo deserves some karma for dropping that pick. So they're like, here, Kansas City, take Xavier Worthy, make your team even better. Like, deserve the karma, my friends. Hope you lose.
Well, so it's a 48.5 point over under with Miami a 2.5 point favorite.
I don't see that.
And so it's going to be, I mean, Vegas is really good, man.
They are. I mean, they say they are.
It's projected to be 87 degrees outside and sunny. And so it's like,
where was Vegas? Where was Vegas on the Arizona Buffalo line? Because they were like Buffalo by what 15, something like that.
Josh Allen came out and looked like shit. Like
they still crushed the over though.
I mean, Josh Allen is still Kal-El. People can hate on him. He's still Kal-El. He's still got the cape. He's still the best thing going as far as fantasy is concerned.
Oh, easy.
Where if you own Josh Allen, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is I'm going to lose a game 100-25 every week because he's getting 25. I just need these other 9 bums on my team to show up and get what they're going to get.
Yep. And a reminder to everybody that plays fantasy out there, put your Thursday night players in your starting lineup and leave them out of your flex.
Hold on. Let me rewind to that. I'll make an amendment to that thing because I knew you were going to get to that. Unless you are allowed like me, you're sitting around waiting on A-Chain or somebody like that. You put them in your flex, for Thursday, and you ride that if you can. You ride that up until you see him out on the field warming up. Because if you get that text tomorrow at 5 or 6 o'clock that A-Chain's not playing, you need to be able to jump in your lineup and put somebody in there. Because the odds that you're going to find a decent running back at 6 o'clock on a Thursday before lineups close, slim and none. So put them in your flex. So if you have your somewhat decent Cortland Sutton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Najee, whoever it is you could throw in, just throw them in there. Your lineup's going to look a little off, but don't leave your injured dude in the solid running back or solid wide receiver spot. Don't do that.
That's what I did with Jamar Chase. So, in week 1. So, all right. So anything else that we want to add?
We got to get Lawrence ass at the week. If we run a few minutes and get
I'm happy to say this one. I'm happy for this one. Sean Payton.
Oh, sure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
I don't want him back. What a like this man. First of all, Bo Nix sucks. Second of all,
does he?
Yeah, no, Sean Payton, he's supposed to go out to Denver and change the whole thing. I was so upset when he left, and I was like, this motherfucker, because they play the Saints week 7, I think, in New Orleans. I cannot wait for that game. That's gonna be a good one. But no, I think I'm giving it to Sean Payton this week, just for being in Denver and what he's done.
Lord is killing the rookie quarterback.
That is not who you told me you were giving your ass to, and I was waiting to ride on that.
But the Panthers? No,
No. That's not who you said you were giving it to, but
Donald Trump, I did say.
Thank you. I just wanted to say it out loud. I just wanted to hear you say it out loud.
Executing babies in the 10th trimester. Yeah, I don't.
Bruh,
Speaking of that, I did want to say, because a lot of our viewers are from North Carolina, I'm looking right at you. Please save us from ourselves again this year. Please. Black people, please save us from ourselves again. Go to
too much pressure for Black people. Do not put that on us. We don't have nothing to do with that. We're not coming to save you.
We don't have nothing to do with that.
On our
You guys saved us with Obama, so
we're not coming to save you.
If you are not registered to vote, a lot of states have, I think the deadline is 3 weeks before, so you can go to vote.gov to register. I know that there's all these it takes 2 seconds. You get on, you put it, you don't have to
drop in the
go
social
vote,
messages.
You get a sticker. I wear special outfits when I vote now.
For your sticker?
I should save a spot on your shirt for your voting. You know what I'll do? Our Halloween week episode, I will wear what I'm going to be wearing to vote. It's a whole thing. It's a whole
live cast. We should broadcast live from the booth.
Lauren's gonna come out looking like motherfucking Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed.
No, it's way
with the hat on and everything, the trunks. The goddamn
I'll just let it. It's because I wore this the last time I voted, and it was COVID, so it worked perfectly because it required face masks too. I'll wear it.
Okay, let me give my ass of the week before we go. And it's not pro football, it's college football. You people, and I say this, you people, unracially, you people who have decided that Deion Sanders can coach, you people need to be fucking smacked in the face. This dude is a car salesman. He's slick. He's flashy. He might be the greatest cornerback that ever played. He is the worst college football coach in America. These motherfuckers lost to Matt Rule. Matt fucking Rule. You lost to Matt Rule.
I don't follow college football, but this is great.
And then you talk shit about how you treat your players and you do this and you do this, you do this. And let your son walk off the field and go to the locker room with 3 minutes to go in the game. The starting fucking quarterback. So Deion, you're the ass of the week.
Ferg, in his defense, Rule is a good college coach. Just like since we're on this college shit real quick, let's give some props to fucking Bill O'Brien.
Boston College
Eagles for making Florida State 0-2.
Oh yeah.
Let's give them the ass of the week.
Yep.
Up to number 10.
Up to number 10. Watching Dad. Notre Dame lost also. That's the most important thing.
God damn, that's
the most important thing.
They could have won ass of the week, but I like Marcus Freeman. I like Marcus
Freeman. It's a bad word in my house. I have to say, got to point him out.
Go
I
Northern
don't even
Illinois.
understand what's happening. Look, I have two of my best friends are Notre Dame fans, and I still haven't talked to them about it.
My dad's an Air Force Academy grad, so he is Mr. Anti Notre Dame. It's like he hates them. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. I hate Notre Dame too. Catholics versus convicts.
I love the movie Rudy, so I'm like,
Rudy.
I don't care. I love that. I love Rudy.
Tell Rudy eat a dick. Fuck Rudy.
Oh, so I want to. I'll give my ass of the week real quick, and I'm just going to give it to the NC State Wolfpack football team.
Because they went out there. Always time to take a shot.
They went out there after talking all this shit in the off season and how great their football team is going to be. Because
they got dog walked.
They have, and it just made me happy that Tennessee went out there. And I'm not a Tennessee guy. Like I am anti-volunteers as well.
Go Vols.
Not in this situation. So
fuck the Wolfpack.
All right.
How about
is there anything else y'all want to mention before we get out of here?
We were gonna make some picks. We'll just throw that out there. I'm taking Miami Thursday.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami.
We're keeping better track of that. Are we all on Miami Thursday?
So I'm taking Miami for sure. I'll take Miami plus the points.
Play at Miami plus the points. And I forgot who's the Sunday night game.
Sunday night is Bears and Texans. Ooh.
That's a good. That's an interesting game of young
I got Texans by 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Ooh. Let's write that down. Texans by 21.
Yeah.
Per Clint. We got to revisit that next Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be like 34-13 or 37-10 or something like that. Like I think.
So since Clint said the Texans are going to dog walk, I'm going to
Stroud
say
is much better than Caleb Williams, and it's a much better run organized. Like it's a much better coach right now in DeMeco Ryan.
Yeah, and you got Joe Mixon is just.
Joe Mixon's a difference. Might be a difference maker.
How about I say the Texans win, but Caleb looks like number one guy.
So it's not going to be the Bears defense this week.
Texas 34, Bears 27.
I don't.
Caleb actually looks good. Caleb looks good this weekend.
I don't hate that. You know what I mean? I don't hate that pick. But as long as the Texans win, I'm fine. But I think CJ Stroud just has it. Whatever it is, he has it. And I think that he's definitely the franchise quarterback of the Texans.
Yeah. You're a Texans guy. Merle and I touched on this last week that I think in real life football, fantasy football fans are going to be mad that Tank Dell is actually the wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
In Texas this year, because Diggs is going to get. I think it's going to look just like it did Sunday. Diggs is going to get a lot of touchdowns. Collins is going to get a lot of catches, and Dale is going to get whatever left over.
Stephon Diggs' average air yards were 2.1 last week.
I think all he wants is a touchdown. So
he's got 2 touchdowns.
Like if Stephon Diggs has 1,000 yards and
he won't
12 touchdowns,
he might.
Let's say he has 900 yards, he has 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Somebody next year is going to give 31-year-old Stephon Diggs $100 million contract. And that's all he wants. He wants one last deal. I don't expect to hear nothing out of him this year. No complaints. Every game is going to look like it did Sunday for him.
Who are you saying? Oh, the Patriots could pick him up. I think we were talking about the other
day. He's a captain.
He doesn't care. Whoever pays him $100 million next year, he will be happy to go there because that's his last ever payday. Yeah, that's his last ever payday. Although I wouldn't be shocked if
he ought to come to Baltimore
from now we were talking about Houston as a Super Bowl contender. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me.
Oh,
either.
Houston!
It wouldn't shock me either.
I totally think. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and we got a tough division.
I think
it's a pretty tough division, and you just got to get past Kansas City.
Houston has just as good a chance as Miami to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it all goes through Arrowhead.
Yeah, for sure.
The hope is that they fall off and lose a couple of games, and you destroy your division, and you get your Kansas City game at your place instead of Arrowwood. That's your only hope. That's really
boy, the Ravens, man, they were the hope last year. But
that game was won.
It was.
That game was won in 3 quarters.
Yeah,
it was won. It was won. It was won.
It sure was.
So you got to get them at your crib.
So if nobody else has anything else, I guess we can sign off for the week and be back next Wednesday at 9:00. This is the new time, by the way, because Ferg has a commitment until 9 p.m. every Wednesday. And so this is going to be the new time. So just click subscribe. That bell will tell you, the little bell goes off, and an annoying alert that you get on your phone or your iPad or on your laptop will pop up that we are going live. So, Ferg, anything else? Lauren, anything else?
No, I think you got it.
I got nothing else. Enjoy your beers, your drinks.
Yeah. And
cheers to week 2.
Good luck on everybody's fantasy team.
Unless you're playing me.
Yeah, well, for 307 people are playing you, my guy. So we'll have to
fuck all 307 of them.
Well, we always say, fuck your team.
307.
Right?
Fuck your team.
Fuck your team. And next week we will be having a guest on, EJ, who's been with us a few times. We'll be back, Mr. EJ Wilson, former NFL defensive lineman will be with us next week to talk a little football. We're gonna
lies you can tell us.
We're gonna try to get some information for Lauren for next week on what this kickoff rule actually is.
I'm lost.
So a little teasing of next episode. So we will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Until then, I'm Clintonian for Mr. Ferg in the top left and Lauren Who Dat Nation up top. We'll see y'all next week.
Later.